What's up, people? Well, let me make sure I get my mic right. What's up, people? It's John here from JJS Consulting Tech. And yeah, we are here. Oh, that's not my lower third. I need to start using this Stream Deck because I got one sitting right here and I need to put it to good use. So yeah, it's John here from JJS Consulting Tech, and we're here today and we're going to talk about something that's really important. Timecode. So a lot of people might be afraid of using timecode, but timecode is one of those things that makes your life much, much easier. Now, here I have Tentacle Sync. I mean, you can use any timecode. I think Deity has one. There are many different companies that have timecode, but we're going to show you how this works today. Well, I'm going to show you how it works today, and I'm going to show you how it makes life much, much easier, especially when you're doing external audio recording and have like multiple cameras. All right, so let's switch over to this presentation real quick. Well, it's not really a presentation, but it's just a browser. But, let's get to it. So what is timecode? Now, a lot of people are afraid of it. A lot of people are afraid to get into it, but it's really, really, really simple. So this is a page from Rode. They have like the layman's term. It can get pretty complicated, but the principles is pretty easy. So it's like, what is timecode now? How does it work? That's the question. Hold on, let me turn on my cursor real quick. All right, you guys should be able to see this. Cool. Yeah. So timecode is a media synchronization system that is designed to perfectly synchronize your audio and video recordings. That's basically what it is. So it just synchronizes your cameras to your external audio device. As its name suggests, timecode takes the form of a sequence of numbers that can be attached to video and audio files in order to precisely label their timing right down to the individual video frames. This is the important part right here. The industry standard for timecode is known as SMPTE, Timecode, Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers. I don't know, but the format is, this is the most like common format. So hours, minutes, seconds, frames. So FF. So that's basically what it is. Hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. So this is what you should set your device to. It's also known as TOD. So if you're looking at your device that has timecode, you would see TOD, and that's what this is. What's up, Tristan? Let's see. Yeah, my lower thirds, they're looking decent. They're much bigger. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's basically all you really need to know about timecode. TOD, which is time of day, and it's used to sync your audio and your video devices together. Now, there are, you can use, why is my lower third still on? well, you can use like the clap sync method. So if you have multiple cameras and you have audio, you can just clap, and then you can go to edit and just look for the clap and sync everything up together. You can't do that if you're taking multiple takes. This is where timecode is like clutch, because if you're doing multiple takes, you will have to clap at each beginning of the take. And if you have like multiple days and you're recording multiple things, you can see how it can get pretty complicated. That's where timecode comes in. The man got animated lower third. You see me? So that's where it comes into play. I'm gonna show you an example of this because I recently used this timecode and it dude, it made editing so much easier. So timecode is mostly for your editors. Is if you use timecode with like a whole lot of cameras and a whole lot of audio external audio devices, and you have multiple takes, your editor will love you. Now, that's not to say if you don't have a timecode device or you can't afford a timecode devices, because you have to buy more than one, you should run out there and get in debt and buy them. The clap sync will work, but only if you're doing like 5 minutes worth of shooting, 10 minutes worth of shooting. If you're doing a lot of that, more than that, you should try to invest in timecode. Now, the other thing about the clap sync, like if you're doing weddings, and because I have a few partners that's like into the wedding industry, and their number one rule is never stop recording. Now, I understand if you're using like the FX3 or if you're using like the Canon cameras and etc. But that rule doesn't apply when you're using Red or Arri Alexa or any of those high-end cinema cameras that burn through media. Now imagine me, I can't even run 12 hours with a Red. It's impossible. The cards aren't big enough to hold all of that footage. So I have to record and stop, and that's where timecode comes in. All right, so enough blabbering. Let's get to what it looks like. So let's go back here. And I use Tentacle Sync. And the cool thing about Tentacle Sync is that it comes with an app. Before I show you that, I have this Tentacle Sync app right here. Yep. So when I turn on this device, this is on right now. And if it's flashing red, that means it's in slave mode. I did a whole video about slave mode and master mode and syncing it to the mix pre. So you can check my video out. So I'm not going to get too much into that today. So as you see, the Tentacle Sync is on and you can see it going. So as you see, the first 2 hours, and then you got minutes, seconds, and then the time that's going crazy fast, that's the frames. This thing works pretty good. It works pretty good. Now, there's something called timecode drift. That's where the frames just drift out of sync from time to time. It's not really too much of an issue, but it can become an issue if you're taking like really long takes. I don't know how to fix that as yet. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, give you some answer, and I don't even know the answer myself. But I saw that the way you fix it is just to ever slightly move the like the audio and the video like a couple frames ahead until it's completely synced up with the camera audio. Yeah, that's how I fix it. I don't know of a other method. Probably a more expensive timecode device won't have that issue, but it is what it is. These things are like $300 a piece or whatever, so they're timecode devices that are crazy expensive, but we won't get into that. So let's get to this right here. Yeah. So after you sync up your devices, you will have your files. And with Tentacle Sync, when you buy one of their devices, you get the license to this software right here, and then you just drop all your media inside of this right here, and it syncs everything up. Let me show you. So I got some test footage over here. So it's good to put your things in folders. That way you can be organized, because the worst thing to do is to be unorganized while you're trying to edit. So all you got to do is highlight all of the audio files that have timecode and just drop them in there. As you see, look, timecode already picked them up. Well, Tentacle Sync already picked them up. And this doesn't only work with the Tentacle Sync software, it works with any software that reads timecode. So the green means that it picks up timecode, and it shows you the timecode and the frame rate. Now this is very important. This is one thing I should have mentioned. When you're doing timecode, all of your devices have to be set to the same frame rate. Your cameras, the timecode device, and the audio device. Make sure of that, because if they're not, do I need to say anything? It's gonna be a headache. It's gonna be a crazy headache. And if it's a paid gig and you make that mistake, just make sure you have in your notes to make sure everything is set to the same frame rate. So let me show you if something is not synced to the timecode, how it would look. Well, I guess all these were synced to the timecode. Huh. Yeah. So all of these are synced. They definitely, as you see, they have different time. Like this one is 15 hours. This one is 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 hours. This one is 1 hour, blah, 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 blah. So they all have timecode in it. So what you do with this now is all you have to do is click up here, sync info. And as you see, these things right here are red because there is no video that I dropped in this software to sync with it. So that's why these are red. But everything that has audio and video, these are synced up automatically. So what you do with this right now is you export. I usually do a XML file. Oh, you guys can't see that, so I'll do it from right here. XML file. Most of your editing software can read XML software, XML files. Final Cut Pro is what I use. Adobe Premiere can read it, as well as DaVinci Resolve. Yep. And then that saves it. And here you can see, you can choose which software to use. Well, it doesn't have DaVinci Resolve, so either Premiere or Final Cut Pro X. And then you can just name it. I'm gonna name this test. Where is this file saving? Nah. Let me save it someplace else. Let me save it to the desktop. All right. That syncs everything up. So here's the lovely part now. So since you got that XML file, all you need to do now is open up your editing software. Let's do... Here I have Final Cut Pro, and then just import that XML file. Import XML and desktop, test, import, and there you have it. It automatically creates a project with everything synced up. So there is no need to get your files, look for the loud clap and sync things up. Now remember, this is highly valuable when you're doing a multi-day shoot and you have many takes from many different cameras and your timeline is like 2 hours and you have to cut it down. This saves so much time. Hence, timecode. So yeah, so this is it. There's now, let's say your device doesn't have timecode. Say your camera. Say you have something like a. Hold on, let me get back the screen. Yeah. So let's say you have like a camera. Let's say a Canon R50 that doesn't have built-in timecode. What you can do is you can sync that device using the headphone jack. So all of these timecode devices have a headphone, 3.5 millimeter headphone, and you can just put that into the headphone jack of the camera, and what it will do is it will write the timecode on the audio file. So you won't have any audio in the camera. It'll just sound like, it'll be a very annoying sound, but you'll be able to use that to sync it to like the other video files. Now, when it comes to like more professional cameras like Red and etc., you can't do that because syncing timecode in audio, it just messes up the raw file. There's something about the way raw files are constructed. It just doesn't work well. So you have to use the 3.5 to the, let me just show you. It's best if I show you. So hold on real quick and let me play some background music. All right, so right in time. Oh, right on time. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So Tentacle Sync comes with this small 3.5 headphone jack to 3.5. And this is what you can just put inside of your camera headphone port, and you got timecode on your camera. But for stuff like this, stuff like this, as you see, there's a lot more ports. Yes, you can put it into the headphone port, but they come with EXT, or extension ports. And what I do is I put it inside of this breakout box. Probably I should do manual focus for this. Autofocus is failing right now. There you go. And as you see, there's a dedicated timecode port for this breakout box. So on one end, now Area is like Area Alexa is the same thing. So on one end, you get the 3.5 millimeter, plug it into here. And on the other end, you get the 5-pin LEMO. Now these are much better, these LEMO, because they're locking. You can't just pull it out of there, like what you can do with the regular 3.5. So LEMO is the way to go. And like these cables, now these cables they look flimsy, but they're pretty expensive. They have a premium. They surely do have a premium. So yeah, that's about it. So again, do a quick recap. Timecode is highly valuable. It's not saying that you can't use the clap method, but timecode is very valuable if you have multiple cameras, multiple audio devices, and you have multiple takes, and you have just a long, extensive shoot. So that's when you should definitely get into timecode. And as easy as I did all of this by just adding timecode on the camera, the external audio device, and have the timecode device right here, sync it up in the software, drop it into the timeline or import the XML, and then it creates the timeline. That's how easy timecode is. So don't be afraid to use timecode. Don't be afraid at all. It'll make your life much easier, especially if you edit. And if you have an external editor that you pay, his life is going to be much easier as well. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys learn a thing or two, and hope you guys aren't afraid of using timecode. Now, timecode only works when you are recording. When you're streaming, you can't use timecode because it's a whole different thing. Streaming, you use Genlock. So Genlock works similarly to timecode, but it's like the streaming version of timecode. I'm not too familiar with Genlock. I got to do more research because I've never used Genlock, but I do want to get into Genlock because as the same way you have timecode, not timecode, time drift or timecode drift. Yes, you have timecode drift. There's some sort of drift that happens when you're streaming live, whether it's the frames or something. So Genlock comes in handy. I'm not a professional when it comes to Genlock. I don't know too much about it. I'm gonna have to get back to you with that, especially after I test it in field. But for now, that's about it. Hope you guys are doing well, enjoying the rest of your Sunday, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Oh, also, make sure you guys tune in February 25th because I have a special guest coming through. Very special guest. And this guy is a true sound guy. So make sure you guys tune in on the 25th of this month. That's all I can say for right now. Have a good one. Peace.